So in today's video, we're going to discuss the types of intermittent fasting. So there's a few things that you can play around with. One being how long you fast for, and how long your eating window is. The second one is when you time that eating window throughout the day, and the third one is I guess how frequently you do that, and whether you do it every day, whether you do it some days, what your sort of routine is. So as I mentioned in the first video, the most common way for most people, or the most common way this is done is through the 16-8. So you're dividing your 24 hours into a 16-hour window where you're not eating, and then an 8-hour window where you are eating. So most people tend to time it. It helps to, you don't eat when you're sleeping. So you've got 7 or 8 hours there already. So most people tend to try and eat dinner as early as possible and then delay when they have their first meal for the next day. And that creates their fasting window. So 16 hours as an example. But it doesn't have to be exactly 16-8. It can be, 17-7. It could be, maybe 13, do my maths, 11. It can be whatever you want it to be. There is a level where, if the fasting window is too short, you're probably not going to get the full benefits of it. But when you're starting out, you might want to start with a smaller window of time where you're not eating, and you might just see how you feel and increase that window over time. If you are starting out and have never done it, the number one rule when it comes to fasting is if you feel unwell for any reason whatsoever, in terms of low blood sugar, you get dizzy, anything, just eat. Okay, it's as simple as that. It does take a little bit of time to adjust the blood sugar for some people, not for everyone. So if we look at the timing that you do that fasting window, it can be done, as I said, from dinner right through to delaying breakfast. Some people like to do it the other end of the day where they eat very early and then they go through to breakfast and just have a breakfast at a normal time in the morning the next day. That tends to be actually probably a better way of doing it in terms of you're not going to bed on a full stomach. So you don't have food that you need to process in your gut, so you're going to get better quality sleep. However, it is more challenging because generally it's easier to fast when you're more occupied and doing things and busier. Whereas at night we tend to stop and you sit on the couch and you might be watching telly or whatever, and then your mind will start going. So my advice is do it wherever it works best for you. I prefer to do it in the morning. That works better for me. And in terms of the timing of the fasting, you can do a really long fast. There's people that do OMAD, they call it, which is 1 meal a day. I've experimented with that personally. So you're pretty much almost doing a 24-hour, 23-hour fast. We're just eating 1 meal a day. I have experimented, didn't find it worked for me. I feel like that's too long to be doing on a consistent basis. Maybe once in a while to shake things up is good. But again, it's got to fit your lifestyle. And, we don't just eat for nutrition, we also eat for pleasure. And it's hard to get that amount of nutrition in one meal. And sometimes you can overeat at that meal too, which is not a good thing. So probably one of the theories or the methods that I've swayed to more over the years now is this method of 5-1-1, which is 5 days in the week. You're doing like a medium one, so maybe about 16-hour fast, 15, 14, somewhere around there. And then you do one day where you do a longer fast. So it might be, somewhere around 17, 18 hours, or, maybe even that one meal in the day for that one day a week. and then another day we're not eating at you're not fasting at all. And that the benefit of that is that you not allowing your body to get used to a routine. You're sort of changing things up and shifting things because the metabolism is not a static thing. We don't run on the same metabolic rate all the time. It's like a seesaw. It goes up and down. There's different factors that affect that. So if we start to fast for the same exact periods of time every day, sometimes, not for everyone, everyone's different. Sometimes I found it in myself. If I was doing it too routine, my body adapted and I started to not get the same effects. So I like to mix it up. I don't even do necessarily 5-1-1. I just do it more intuitively. So some days it suits me to eat earlier because I know that I won't get an opportunity to eat till later. But then sometimes I'll pick, 1 or 2 days a week where I do a longer one because I'm busy and don't have time to eat. So, and then the other days I sort of keep a, consistent sort of 16-ish, 17, 15-hour window of fasting. So my point is, I guess what I'm trying to get across is that you don't have to there's no one set formula that works for everyone. Experiment with doing different lengths of time, mixing it up on different days, how it plugs into your lifestyle, and see what works for you. This is a period of self-experimentation. So see what works for your lifestyle, see what works, from a results sort of perspective. Just start to pay attention.